Hey guys, welcome back to Keeping Up with Brits. FBI season 2 episode 16 is out. It's entitled The Safe Room, and trust me, you'll know why. There's a lot of back and forth in this episode between different scenes, and I am doing one big lump sum, so keep up and keep following, guys. So let's get into the episode. So in the beginning of the episode, we see that a young girl is having a heart-to-heart with her father, saying that she wants to be capable of accomplishing some things on her own and not have to be linking all of her accomplishments to having the fact that she has money. And her father agrees and decides that he would, cool out a little bit on stuff. You know what I'm talking about. So she goes for a jog before she goes off to school, and on that jog she's actually kidnapped at gunpoint. Now the FBI is called because her father is actually a billionaire, and they decide to start investigating the case. From looking at the footage that they do have, they recognize she was kidnapped outside of the compound, and also they can't really see the kidnapper's face. However, they can see the license plate, and they run the license plate number, and it shows them that they realize that the vehicle that the kidnapper used is actually a vehicle that he stole from a woman earlier during the day. And from that footage from the streets, they got a good picture of him and ran it through facial recognition and noticed that his name is actually Mike. Now, as a father, if there's any reason why somebody wants to kidnap his daughter whatsoever, if he has any enemies, he says he only has business enemies, not personal enemies, and that he wouldn't see none of his business rivals actually doing something so low. Now, since they have a name of the man, Mike, they decide to run his phone number GPRS, and they get his location where he is actually out in Manhattan outside of our CEO real estate firm's of a firm house. Now they obviously go and they don't see him or the girl Chloe in the vehicle, and they bridge the house. They go upstairs, downstairs. There was no sign of him. However, when they decided to meet in the foyer so that they could actually talk, about the next moves, he, who is Mike, speaks to them through the intercom of the house, saying that it took them 2 hours and 49 minutes to actually find a rich man's daughter. However, his daughter, who has been missing for 3 weeks now, and there has been no outcome, and nobody practically gives a shit because he's poor. Obviously they want to validate his story and what he's saying, so they decide to look into it and recognize that he did try, and I say try, to make a missing person report. However, because the police couldn't prove that he actually had a daughter because there was no paper trail, they decided that, to hell, we're not gonna investigate nothing, despite the fact that not only his neighbors but close family friends tell them that he does actually have a daughter. Nobody didn't look into shit. They decide also to go to the house, so Oma and Maggie decide to go to the house. And a close family friend is the one who actually, brings them into the house and so on and so forth. And she says that he only found that he had a daughter 6 months ago, not weeks, 6 months ago, because her mother was dying and finally confessed that she was his child and asked that he take care of her. And she also, when asked if she thinks she ran away or if she was kidnapped, she says that she confesses that she actually gave her money to go to live with her family members of hers in Florida for the time being because things were not going too well between she and her father. So they tell Jubal that information, and Jubal confirmed with the man that they did find out he does have a daughter, and they are looking into and doing everything that they can to have the best possible outcome of the situation and to see if they can find her. Now, after learning that the family friend did give her money to go to Florida, they decided that they were going to look into boss cameras to see if she did go on the transport, and also to call the relatives to see if she was there. She was not at the relatives, and they said that she didn't come, and they just assumed that things were better between she and her father, so that's why she didn't show up. They didn't even bother to ask if that was facts. Confirm it. However, when they look at the bus schedule, they recognize she didn't get on the bus. Cameras, she didn't get on the bus. However, they do have footage of a young lady who appears to be her being kidnapped by a man whom face they cannot recognize once again. Now, they also learned that there was a 911 call made that day to the officers saying that describing the situation of a young lady being kidnapped and whatever. However, nobody didn't seem to look into that either. I don't know if the police was just officers were just lazy these times, but so it was. No, Jubal tells the man that, and they showed him the picture. He says he can't recognize who it is, and they say, and Jubal also asked him if they could give him more time, since it has been 3 weeks since information that has happened, and it would take them a little while. So he decided to give them 3 more hours. Roxa Christine actually does her best. Now, I know you may be wondering how is it that Jubal can communicate with him. I forgot to tell you that Jubal let one of his tech actually cut the camera feed in the safe room, and as well as allowing them to see into the safe room and to be able to speak to him through the intercom. So the intercom now is a two-way intercom, and the camera is now a one-way stream where they can see in but he cannot see them. So back to the story. Now he gives them 3 hours to find his daughter, extra hours to find his daughter. Roxa Christine is the one that solved it, and she found, after zooming in, she found the transport registration, and when she traced it to the building, she saw that whom it was registered to. They sent Omar and Maggie to the building, and they said the man told them that he sold it to a young tenant that he had, who he recently kicked out because of all his criminal activities. But however, he allowed him to come over every day to check on pigeons he had on the roof. Now, at that same time, while that is going on, we see that Roxa Christine's partner in the field, and the SWAT team decides to visit the man who actually built the safe room, asking for any ideas on how if they had to breach it, how they would breach it. And he said the only way would possibly be through the roof if the person didn't install the secure roof, which most people found was overkill. And apparently, to their luck, that man did not install the roof. Overkill, the steel and everything. So they practiced and practiced on the replica, and the man was hesitant at first, but after they said the FBI will foot the bill for any damages, he was like, sure, go ahead, do anything you want. I mean, who wouldn't? Overcharge a little, and stuff like that. But anyways, they figured out a plan. It wasn't the best, but they were going to go through with it. Omar and Maggie decided that they were going to wait for the young man to come. He spotted them before they spotted him, and he started to run. He ran through the building, upstairs the roof. They cornered him on the roof, and he tried to roof jump. And he missed. Almost. He only ended up holding onto the ledge. Omar met him there, told him, I was going to make you fall if you don't tell me where the girl is. He was like, which girl? The boy said, which girl? Which means he's been doing that to multiple people, kidnapped multiple people. He decided fine, he would tell the story and whatever, and what's not about the missing girls. And Omar pulls him up. Maggie's just watching like, damn, that's my partner, from the other roof. And they bring him in, and he tells them how he's been kidnapping girls and bringing them to another man for money. And the man is drawing them and using them for sex work. Now they ask him how he communicates with the man. He says through pigeons. They decide to ask Christine for help, and she puts a tracker on one of the pigeons, and they release it to go to wherever it's supposed to go. It's a homing pigeon. When it arrives, they have the location, and they went straight into the building. Bam, bam, breaking down doors and everything, And they found the girl. However, they said that the other girls that were there said that she was sick and on her bed in the corner. They had to rush her to the hospital. Jubal tells the father that she has been found and everything, and he keeps most of the details to himself because it's like kind of a hostile situation, literally. And he tells him they found his daughter, but however, he wants proof. He wants to talk to his daughter. Jubal doesn't tell him though that his daughter is actually in a coma and can't speak. So Jubal decides the best option that they do have right now is to actually bridge the room, and which they did, and he ended up, which is Mike, ended up getting shot 3 times in the chest, I think, 3 or twice, or 2 times. I mean, not twice. And the young girl Chloe is actually safe and sound, and she goes on her way to home. Now Mike is being rushed to the hospital. At the same time, Jubal is trying to tell him that his daughter woke up, she's fine, she's safe, and he expresses how happy he is that she's finally found and safe. And then he flatlines. And though Jubal asks the medics to help him, I think he actually dies. Though it's a good thing that he died a happy man when his daughter was safe, but it's also a sad thing because Jubal really wanted him to be alive to actually work things out with his daughter, even though he would have been in jail. So that's basically it, guys. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever, and I will see you next week.